Where have I been? Well, besides in the depths of hell, I've been a little busy, and I am so sorry that I have neglected you guys. It has been 3 weeks of constantly competing with other live streamers on a different app, TikTok. We ended up placing number 67 in North America, which was pretty amazing. And it was extremely strenuous to get there. However, I do not think I will ever live that down. If any of you guys are parents with younger children, you know the lore that comes in with 6, 7. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna live that one down with my children. However, let's get talking about all the things that have been going on, and you guys get my undivided attention for ever now. Okay, guys, I'm fully focused here. It was way too hard to be streaming 19 hours a day and being able to manage long form content, but I am back and I am here. And so I'm going to give some answers to some of the questions I've had while I've been gone. Everyone wants to know about the fireplace. That one's a hard one. So with all of the amazing advice we got, we were going to figure out how to be able to lift it. The next problem that we ran into was the widths of the doors. The door frames in older homes are a lot smaller than the average door frame, and there was no physical way that we could get the fireplace out without damaging the home or trying to take it apart. But the fireplace was so old, we couldn't find anything that actually showed us how to take it apart and be able to lift it individually, like different parts of it out. Now, part of that fireplace, what I do know is when my grandparents did buy that house, there was an older fireplace in there. They had that removed, and then they had that fireplace built inside of that room. Time just came down too fast. So there's a lot of things that happened, and I will probably insert some clips where you guys can see everything that's been going on in the last 3 weeks, because it's been really intense. Because Live Fest started, the house sale was closing, and my whole entire life was a little chaotic, but all in the process. If you guys notice all this beautiful new canned food right here, I was still able to preserve and continue building our food pantry. I just didn't have time for long form content at that moment. However, okay, let's break down everything that happened with the house. Down to the day of the signing, I had forgotten to get the grapevines. So I went on this crazy mission. You guys probably saw the shorts where I was digging up some of the old flowers and the grapevines. I do not know if they have transplanted well. I have done everything for the root ball to do as much care as I can with them and have them covered and mulched right now. We will find out in the spring. If I see new growth, that means I was able to save it. As you guys can tell, I have no voice. It's going to take me at least a couple of days to rebuild my vocal cords. Talking 19 to 20 hours a day, competing as a live streamer, takes a lot out of you. It's a lot. And it damages your vocal cords. And unfortunately, that's the way I work, is by talking. So it's going to take a little bit, but I'm really on top of it with, mint and honey and doing nebulizer treatments on my vocal cords and steaming my vocal cords. So hopefully we will have my normal voice back here as soon as possible. Now, while I've been gone, let's talk about all the things. I'm going to be looking over here because that is where my shelf is. I'm going to drop in some clips on there so you guys can see. So I've canned about 20 jars of tomato sauce, which is enough to get us by for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. That I might be pushing it. New carrots, broth, a bunch of cranberry juice, but I have a lot more to go. I also did cranberry sauce, which turned out amazing. I was like testing the recipe I make for Thanksgiving and then turning into a canning recipe. So yeah, any of these recipes most likely are all considered a rebel can because they're not going by FDA guidelines on seasonings, and it's a tested recipe. I did some marinaras, corned beef and hash, a chicken and gravy, potatoes, carrots, and some ketchup. And right now I'm working on a marinara upstairs. So even though if I'm not on camera, just understand that I am constantly preparing and preserving food. And guess what? We finally got the best news ever with all of the transitions that are happening. The off-grid property is getting its well. So we are going to start the drilling process for the well, and I'm going to take you guys through all of that. And we did end up winterizing the camper out there, and we're going to start working on some smaller structures because we are starting to set ourselves up for the date of when we go completely off-grid. I'm fed up with society. I don't know about anybody else and how you guys are feeling about society, but I am seeing changes in my own home. I'm going to take a sip because my voice is a little rough. And yes, it's a Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper. I need like millions of cans for the apocalypse. I'm tired of society. And I know that there is so many of you guys out there that are tired of it, but I am watching it in modern time affect my children. We have tangoed with the idea of homeschooling. We've been going through the process of trying to make sure everything is set up really well because my daughter, she is in 8th grade, but she'll be going into 9th grade next year. And she actually starts taking college classes in 9th grade. So we're trying to find a program that works really well for us in the state of Utah. And there's a lot of gray lines in between it. So we're navigating that course right now. But seeing my kids' mental health and everything shift because of this society pressure and keeping up with the Joneses. And my daughter, she said to us, she goes, we've been doing social media for so long. Why don't you buy a new house? And I was like, oh, I don't want to be in debt. And then she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, your friends, some of her friends have mansions. Okay, I'll just say that. They got some mansions. I was like, first of all, I don't want to clean that. And society has made us want to keep up with each other so much that people are just struggling. They're just struggling to get by. When people are choosing between, Christmas gifts or prepping or just feeding their family, that's one of the reasons why prepping is so incredibly crucial. It's insanely crucial. Not many people understand is when you have a food storage, the way I've built up my food storage, I know I can fall back on that if times are tough. Financially, we don't have to run to the grocery store. We don't have to do those things. And we've been making transitions to make our house a complete ingredient household and just making small little adjustments to it. But it takes time and it takes skills and it takes learning different things. And on top of it, the off-grid. But watching society is going to collapse. I hate to say it that way. Society is going to crumble. You see it. You see the lack of respect. I went to my daughter's choir concert. There's a group of kids in the back row. And I'm talking like 6 or 7. 6, 7. There was quite a few, all right? And these kids were publicly bullying other children. They were publicly bullying them. And there was all of these other adults, some sitting behind me, some sitting next to me. These kids were like right behind me, like 2 rows back, publicly bullying. Like some kids were getting on stage to perform a dance routine that they had choreographed. And then the choir came up to sing and they were publicly booing. And all the other adults just looked around and just stared into oblivion. Like there was no right or wrong. Society is failing because parents have not parented their children. And the ones who sat there and stared are part of the problem. Did your dad and mom not teach you how to stand up for what's wrong? It's almost like a social experiment when you're watching it. So I was watching this and, I shot him a look back, kind of like, what are you doing? The kids stopped for a minute and then they started back up. They got worse. They bullied a girl who went on stage so bad that she puked. Like she heard them boo and she got nauseated, and you see this, you see what's affecting Kids, I'm sorry. I will never be the parent that says my kids do nothing wrong. My kids do stuff wrong all the time. But it is our job to correct them, especially with the prepping mindset, to correct them when they are wrong. If my kids are doing something that's unsafe when it comes to prepping or learning a new skill, I'm going to correct them. I'm going to redirect them back to the way that it should be done, with proper supervision. These kids continued. Full-grown men and women sitting right next to them, right behind me, not a peep out of their mouth. Was it because they were afraid that society would look bad at them if they said something? Was it out of fear of rejection? Or was it that they're sheep and they just follow? Whatever is okay, it's okay. Just pretend you don't see it. So, I snapped my neck back and I scolded him. I said, wow, it's really interesting. My 8-year-old son next to me can be quiet during a performance, but you cannot. Do you have a father in your home? A mother in your home? Have they not taught you this? And they got quiet real quick. And then we continued with the performance, and they'd make some pretty loud sounds, but they weren't actively booing anymore. They were not actively trying to harass, but it was quite interesting to see how much society it's completely crumbling. When SHTF happens, how many people are just going to look so docile into it? Just wide-eyed, lost, confused. Go straight to the FEMA gates. Go straight to the military. Turn over your food. Turn over your guns. Turn over everything. It's quite baffling to see it happen in modern time. So yeah, we want to start setting dates of we're done. We're done. It is our job to teach, navigate, and mentor our children to become good people that are reliable, that have a skill set, that are smart and intelligent, that are okay with questioning the system and okay with the answers that may not coincide with what we believe. That they can accept those answers, but they don't have to abide by them. That they can look at things in a different light. So we're starting that process because I want to get my kids as far away from the system as possible. Watching that and watching how public it was, people don't even say no anymore. It's interesting and honestly petrifying to think this is where it's going to be. Well, as always, stay aware, stay prepared, and always have your head on a swivel. I will see you on the next one. I am going to drop some clips in from everything that we've been doing while I've been gone, and so hopefully you guys like those clips. There probably is going to be zero audio with them, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I promise I am back. I am completely back. You guys have my full attention, and I am sorry that I have not been here because we have a lot of things to talk about. And on tomorrow's episode, I am talking about one of the most uncomfortable areas that I prep in. And this may make you unfollow me. Or it may make you follow me. I don't know. We're going to be talking about one of the areas I prep in that not very many people talk about. And it is something that I prep very, very heavily in. Because I truly think it's something that's going to happen, something we will see very soon. All right, I'll see you on the next one.